All right, welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator. This is Mike November Whiskey coming to you from San Francisco. We are in the lovely Bay Area. It's around about 5 to 6 in the evening, so the sun is still nice and high. But we'll be flying to Salt Lake City today, where the sun will be setting to our backs. And we're looking forward to some pretty awesome sights on the way in. Some light mist, some fog. I think Carl the Fog is starting to roll into San Francisco now, so it may make for a nice departure on the way out. No ATC online at the moment, but we do have other traffic in the area. As you can see, my model matching is broken. I've been having many performance issues since Sim Update 9 came out. We'll talk more about that in a bit, but one of the side effects is my model matching is broken, so I may have to reinstall all of my liveries all over again. But enough about that. We are back in the fly-by-wire A320neo Experimental Edition. There's some new additions to this mod that I just noticed. For one, we have wheel chocks and cones in place, which is a nice realistic touch. We're in this gorgeous United Airlines livery tonight. We are United 9084. And we are still getting pretty poor frame rates on the ground. Since Sim Update 9, I'm getting about 26 frames per second, but it's still looking relatively smooth, like a little judder here and there, but not too bad if you're not kind of shaking the camera around all over the place. In any case, let's hop into the cockpit and we'll get things booted up for our flight today to Salt Lake City. Alright, so here we are. We are cold and dark, as we like to start. And go to our overhead panel. First things first is get power on to the plane. So batteries on, battery 1, battery 2. Voltage looks good. And we'll go ahead and connect external power. And everything comes to life. We'll get the nav and logo lights on to let folks know on the ground that we're in here in the cockpit. Get some integrated lights on. No smoking to auto, and arm the emergency lights. We'll keep seatbelts off for now since we'll be doing some refueling. Crew supply on, ground control on, and we can start aligning our IRSs. Next up are our fire tests. APU. Engine 1. And engine 2. And the cargo fire for good measure. Alright, that is all good. And I think that's it for overhead. We're going to do some refueling in a bit, so we'll keep the fuel pumps off, but everything else looks good to go. Coming down here to our PFD and ND, we'll get these brightened up a bit so we can see them in this lighting. Get constraints turned on. We'll prepare our altimeter and autopilot when we brief our departure. But in the meantime, we can turn off the flight director.
Traffic, Walker 1079, departing from LA 28 left. NorCal traffic.
Oh, NorCal traffic. That's good to know. I didn't know it was NorCal traffic. I would have said San Francisco. Alright, so we'll turn the screens off because we have no co-pilot today, and it saves on performance. Coming down here, we'll get the ECAM brightened up a bit. And get that set up. It looks like only the cabin doors open. Have the other services left? It looks like they have. That's fine. They're done with what they need to do. Clock looks good. It's just about 1 UTC. Landing gear lever is down, indicating down. Anti-skid is on. Brake pressure looks good. 7 minutes for IRS alignment. Good cockpit oxygen. And let's take a look at hydraulics. Hydraulic fluid is nice and full. And on the engine, full oil quantity as well. So that all looks great to me. We'll stick on the flight control side for now. Coming down here, so we want to start boarding relatively soon, so let's turn the APU on so we can get the packs flowing. That's a COVID safety thing, I believe. Alright, and while we wait for the APU to spool up, we'll actually get the APU screen on here, we'll do the rest of our cockpit checks. So throttle is functional in the idle position. We're on Unicom at the moment, and that's confirmed because we heard the other pilot talking to us. Let's get the integrated lights here brightened up a bit. And we have weather system is off and predictive wind shear system is off. Engine masters are off. Engine mode is normal. We are going to squawk 1200 until we get ATC coverage. That looks good. And ATC and TCAS are all on standby. Coming further down, ground spoilers are retracted and disarmed. Flaps are up. Rudder is reset. Parking brake is on. Cockpit doors open. Everything looks fantastic. All right.
Frisco traffic, United, 1753, pushing back gate Fox 16 or Fox 85, whatever you want to call it. Frisco traffic.
It's NorCal traffic, but that's fine. All right, coming to our electronic flight bag. Let's
NorCal traffic, Walker 1079, Sky runway 28 right.
Let's get our sim brief information loaded up. Make sure everything looks good, and we'll read the weather real quick. So we're at SFO. Winds are out of 280 at 25, gusting to 35. Very heavy winds. We are slotted to take runway 28 left, and that is perfect. That's taking us right into the wind. And I'm starting to think that this airport was designed with that offshore wind in mind, because it always seems to be directly over the runway, which is fascinating. Good visibility, a few clouds, 1800, 17 degrees, 8 dew point. Altimeter 3003, so we can go ahead and put that in our glare shield. 3003. That's reading about 17 feet above sea level. That sounds about right. All right, that's it. We'll take a look at Salt Lake City when we are in the air, but for now, let's look at our routing. We're taking the Truckee November 2 departure. I think that's how you would say it, named after the town in up near Tahoe. To Mogi, to Airway Quebec 124, to Bravo Victor Lima, to Watts 5 arrival, into Salt Lake City 34 left. Let us take a look at our flight plan, make sure that all looks good as well. So we are United 9084, heading from SFO to Salt Lake City. Our alternate tonight is Kilo Echo Victor Whiskey. I actually have no idea what airport that is, but we can look it up when we're on our way as well. We have a cost index of 10, flight level 390, so nice and high, and triple pause is a bit above us. We'll have a slight tailwind of 5 knots, and that will equate to a block time of 1 hour and 55 minutes, but an in-air time of about 1 hour and 30 minutes, so not too long tonight. Shear rate max 3.2, so mild turbulence, nothing too serious. And coming down here, looking at our fuel, we'll need an extra 0.6 for our alternate, and our final reserve and contingency more than make up for additional fuel to get to there if we need to divert. And looking at the weather doesn't look too bad, so I think this fuel amount is correct and fine for us tonight. 5196. We'll hop over to the fuel page, and we'll link it to our sim brief, and we'll go ahead and get refueling started. A quick 2 minutes, since it's not that far of a flight. All right, back to the operating flight plan. Let's take a look to see if there's anything else we need to note. There's our airway. There's all the waypoints for our arrival. If ATC comes online, that may change, so we'll just be prepared to change it. And looking at shear rates, pretty consistent all the way through, so we'll just have to watch out for any mild turbulence. And we've already looked at our weather, but the weather information is posted here as well if we need it. Just looking ahead, though, to see if there's anything expected out of San Francisco. Nope, everything looks pretty fine. Cool. Next up will be our charts. Let's get our charts loaded up from SFO, starting with the taxi.
San Francisco traffic, United 1753, taxiing at 28 left by Alpha, Foxtrot, will advise for crossing runways 1 left and 1 right. Frisco traffic.
All right, so there's the airports, and this is a good chart for our taxiways. It looks like if we're going to take 28 left like everyone else is taking, we'll taxi via Alpha to Foxtrot, all the way down, 28 left, easy. Next up, we'll want to look at our standard incident departure. So I think it was the Truckee November 2. Am I saying that right?
San Francisco traffic, Delta 1700, pushed back off Delta 6, taxiing to runway 1 left for departure via Bravo Mike, San Francisco.
Maybe you just call it Truckin'. Truckin' 2. That's fine. So it looks like we'll be taking off via the Truckin' 2 departure. Let's take a look. There's no... Oh, here we go. So for 28 left, we're going to climb heading 284 to 520 feet, and at or below 210 knots. There is a speed restriction we'll have to plug in just to make sure we don't go above it. And then right turn direct to truckin'. Once we hit that point, nice and easy, nice kind of circling departure. And we want that short, small speed so we can actually make that tight turn. There are hills in South San Francisco to be aware of. So that low airspeed will allow us to make a tighter turn. And I think from there, where were we going next? We were going from there direct to Mogi. So if we look on that chart, and let's pin this before I forget. Looking for Mogi. There's Mogi there. So that's how we'll be exiting the SID. And looking here. Alright, so we'll want to, yeah, we could basically clear ourselves to cruise as soon as we're ready. So we'll want to be at 6,100 feet and then 13,500 feet by the time we get to this leg to Mogi. And yeah, then we'll be on our way for the rest of the trip. That looks good. That looks good. Alright. So next up, let's take a look. Let's take a look at our IRSs. It looks like we are nicely aligned and we should actually get boarding started. Weights and balance, pull this in from SimBrief, and we are going to have 148 passengers tonight, so we'll get them rolling on board. And while they're boarding, we can go ahead and set up the rest of the McDo. Actually, before we do that, we were doing our departure brief. And I just want to make sure that I have the initial climb out. We'll initially climb out to 6,100. So we'll get that into the glare shield. $6,000 and 100. And that sounds like I was just kicked off of VATSIM. Let's take a look. It's just going to beep every time it can't do a model match. So I'm just going to delete my VMR file for now until I can fix it. Apply. Okay, so we're just going to deal with generic aircraft for tonight. Apologies, everyone. Coming back to the McDo here, let's go to IRS, all on nav. And AC status, LEAP engines.
San Francisco traffic, Delta 1700, taking off, runway 01 left, and then trucking the 2 departure, San Francisco.
01 left, good luck, dude. 18th of May, so we have, we're 1 day until the next AIRAC. That's nice. Heading to Init A, let's do this manually. So we're heading from Kilo Sierra Foxtrot Oscar to Kilo Sierra Lima Charlie. Our alternates, I've already forgotten. Kilo Echo Victor Whiskey. Kilo Echo Victor Whiskey. And we are UAL 9084. Cost index of 10. Cruise 390. And tropopause of 41,394. So a bit higher than indicated here. And that's it. Let's head to our flight plan.
San Francisco traffic, Delta 1700, clear of runway 01 left, passing 2000, San Francisco traffic.
So 28 left.
Boarding completed.
Boarding's already completed. Nice. I have that on accelerated mode. Truckin' to departure. And transition, was it Mogi? There it is, Mogi. Alright, that looks good to me. Confirm 28 left. Yes. Alright, insert. And then from Mogi, where are we heading? We are heading...
Ladies and gentlemen from the flight deck, on behalf of myself, your captain, the first officer, and cabin crew, I'd like to take this time to welcome you aboard our flight. We're just wrapping up some paperwork up front here and waiting to receive final numbers from the ground crew, then we'll be on our way. Flight attendants will be coming through the cabin shortly with a very important safety briefing. We do ask that you give them your full, undivided attention as they review the safety operations of this Airbus aircraft. We do appreciate your business having you aboard this flight. If there's anything we do to make your flight any more enjoyable, please don't hesitate to ask. Welcome aboard.
San Francisco traffic, United 1753, crossing runways 1 left and 1 right at taxiway Foxtrot. San Francisco traffic.
Alright, and that is that. So there's our airway, Quebec 124 to Bravo Victor Lima. And we'll just get rid of this discontinuity for now. So we have a relatively decent calculated deceleration point, and we'll worry about our approach when we're in the air. So let's go ahead and just quickly validate this flight plan on the screen. I guess we'll, since we're right here, we'll work backwards. So starting from KSLC, Bravo Victor Lima, and then the airway, Mogi Truckin', and then there's our departure turn. That looks great. That looks fantastic. Okay. So next up are rad navs. Didn't see anything on the chart in memory, but let's see. I guess we could put in the SFO VOR. I guess we probably should. But I think that's the only one of relevance. So Sierra Foxtrot Oscar in VOR 1. And we'll just go ahead and flip that on. Alright, next up is Init B. So getting our zero fuel weight, 57.9, that should match the OFP. And it does, perfect. That still works. Fueling is complete. We're at 5,200 kilograms, so 5.2. And given now the fueling is complete, we can go ahead and turn on the fuel pumps and the seatbelt sign. Alright, we are going to have a tailwind of 5 knots to plug in here. And let's get the rest of our fuel information loaded as well. So we're going to have 0.5 contingency, 0.6, and 0.9. So 0.5, 0.6, and 0.9.
San Francisco traffic, United 1753 is departing runway 28 left, departing area to the south. San Francisco traffic.
Alright, that is 6 minutes of extra fuel. That is fine by me given the conditions we're flying into. Alright, so Init B is done, and next up let's do performance. And for this, I'm going to load up SimSmart, which is our performance calculator. Alright, and let me load that up for you guys to see as well. Alright, looks to be working. Alright, let's put in our airport code, Kilo Sierra Victor Foxtrot Oscar. Alright. Runway 28 left. And runway conditions are dry, anti-icing is off. Takeoff weights. Is 63 tons. We are center of gravity forward, flex takeoff configuration 1, PAX will be off. Let's calculate. Yeah, these results are so interesting, especially when you have a really long runway. The V-speeds tend to be exactly the same. But that is fine. We'll go ahead and roll with it. So, flex to temp tonight is 70 degrees. Transition altitude is always 18,000 in the United States. And V speeds, all 147 knots. Alright, we're going to do flaps 1, and let's take a look at the fuel prediction. Is still not what I would expect to see, but we'll use 24.6 as a proxy. Which button is it? There we go. 24.6, and we'll get just a little beneath 25. Actually, no, the other side, 25 there. Let's see what that equates to on the flight control page. 0.4 up. Oh, hold on. Performance. Oh. Apologies. Up 0.4. Alright, that all looks good, and I think we are all set to go. So, just going to do a quick check to make sure. Well, first let's get SimSmart off your screens there. And let's just double check. Okay, there's still no ATC in the area, so we'll rely on Unicom. So, this is the first time I'll be using, I removed the toolbar pushback mod because I was worried that was impacting frames. I can see now that is not the case. There's something else going on with my sim at the moment. But let's go to the pushback page here. We'll see what the built-in tool is like and how it performs. So let's turn the pushback system on. Okay, confirm. And I can't seem to predetermine where it goes, but let's call the tug. There you go, all the services are going away. And here comes the tug. Oop. Disconnect external power. Always forget that part. And the chocks and cones are all away. I see nose wheel steering disconnects. Tug is attached. Oh, yeah, there's no audio cues. I'm so used to the audio cues. Yeah, I guess I just have to monitor this. Interesting. So backward. Oh, I see. Pause. Okay. That's how that works. Alright, so now that we're all connected, let's do our before start checklist. Cockpit prep is complete. Fuel message is sent. Gear pin covers are removed. Signs are on or auto. We'll get that strobe onto auto at this point. IRSs are on nav. Fuel quantity is 5.2 thousand. Takeoff data is set. Bower ref is set. Just confirming. Yeah. All set there. Cool. Before start checklist to the line. NorCal traffic, United 9084 is pushing back from stand 51 Bravo, NorCal traffic. And backward we go. So, before start checklist below the line, windows and doors are closed. Beacon is coming on. This is a very slow tug, so I'm going to do all the engine start stuff. Beacon is on.
Flight attendants, arm doors, and cross.
Thrust levers are on idle. Parking brake is off. Well, now it's off. Maybe that's why we're moving so slow. Before start checklist complete, let's see. Yeah, oh, and now we're rolling. This is a bit of an interesting tug.
Once again, we'd like to welcome you on board. Your safety is our top priority, so we appreciate if you would accept your attention while we demonstrate the safety features
Can I use the rudders? Oh, I can use the rudders. Okay, that's better. Very responsive. And let's go ahead and just lock those doors. Take a look outside. Alright. Fuel pumps are on, AP bleed is on. Let's go ahead and start those engines. Engine mode to ignition, engine to start. Oh. Unclear like which line I'm supposed to push back to. Yeah, I much prefer the toolbar pushback mod. I will be reinstalling it now that I know that's not causing my frame rate issues. Alright, I'm going to call that good enough. Oop, that's violent. And pause. Parking brake engaged. Disconnect tug. That was a quick start. Engine 1 start. Alright, pushback system is off. And 1 coming up to speed. Run the run clock. Alright, engine start complete. So ignition, engine mode back to normal. Let's go ahead and set our takeoff flaps. Set our ATC to auto. RMR's ground spoilers. Max braking. We'll go ahead and get our taxi lights on, and we can shut down the APU bleed and the APU because we're on engine generated power. And now we can do our after start checklist. So after start checklist, anti-ice is not required. ECAM status is checked. And pitch trim is set to f.4, and rudder trim is confirmed 0. After start checklist completes. Let's confirm our taxi routing, and we'll make our way to 28 left. NorCal Traffic United 9084, taxiing to runway 28 left via Alpha and Foxtrot, crossing runways 1 left, 1 right. NorCal Traffic. Alright friends, let's go. So I'm using the rudders to direct the nose wheel, but we will be relying on the tiller for these more dramatic turns. Picking up speed pretty quick thanks to the light weight tonight. Alright, we'll start turning a little before that stripe there. Or a little after, rather. So I'm definitely noticing the frame rate drops now. And this should be Foxtrot directly in front of us. Veering to the right a little bit. Oop. It says that's Echo. Oh no, Echo would be next. So this is Fox. Yeah, Fox 1. Let's do a quick check. No one's around. And here we go. Nice, easy turn. I heard no calls for these runways, so I'll just let my previous transmission suffice. Gorgeous peninsula hills, San Bruno to our right, and of course the Bay and Oakland and the Oakland and Berkeley Hills to our left. We're going to fly over my old home tonight in downtown Oakland. Alright, as we are rolling, let's get the rest of our setup going. So wind, weather system and wind shear system is coming on. Let's do our flight control tests. Full left, full right, center, full down, full up, center, disconnect nose wheel steering, full left, full right, and center. And that shift should actually be simulation of the rudder actually turning the plane, not the nose wheel. Alright, let me just make sure that Foxtrot actually, yes, does turn this way. Slow down a little bit, we're going a bit fast, we want to stay under 30 knots. Alright, before takeoff, checklist to the line, flight controls are checked, flight instruments are checked, briefing is confirmed, flap settings are confirmed, V-speeds, flex temp is confirmed, ATC is set, notify cabin crew, takeoff config, ECAM memo takeoff no blue. Let's go ahead. This is the ILS hold short. We'll just go to the main hold short tonight. It's very quiet. No one on final approach, it seems. And we'll hold short here and do our final checks. So at this point, we're clearing ourselves for takeoff. So lights come on. Takeoff lights as well, and keep the strobes on. So Christmas tree mode. ATC on. TCAS, ooh, TARA. And let's do our final takeoff before takeoff checks. So takeoff runway is confirmed, 28 left, cabin crews advised, TCAS is on TARA, engine mode is on normal, packs are coming off for takeoff. And let's do our radio call and take the runway. NorCal traffic, United 984 is taking off runway 28 left via the Truckin 2 departure. NorCal traffic. Alright, so we'll just go straight on and do a 90-degree turn onto the runway. Make sure no one is on approach that didn't announce. Looking good. and turn. Not too bad on the lineup, just a little late. Alright, friends, take off. N1 to 50%. Engine stable. Command flex SRS runway. Auto throttle. 100 knots. Into that wind. B1, rotate. Positive rate, gear up. Nav. Oh, I never... Speed should be 210. Thrust climb. Packs and come back on. Shut down those lights. Spoilers disarmed. And speed check flaps up. And autopilot is engaged. Alright, now that we are direct...
This is good traffic, good afternoon, on the 10-6, choose one pushback starting.
And we can get rid of that speed restriction. Manage speed. And now we get to enjoy the view a little bit. Frame rates have greatly improved now that we're in the air. It's getting about high 40s and above 50 out of the cockpit. So this is a bit more normal. But yeah, there's my old city. Alameda over here, this beautiful island with the old Air Force Base over there. Oakland Airport. Looks like we'll be flying it over directly. There's Mount Diablo in the distance. Lake Merritt here off of downtown Oakland. See Berkeley, UC Berkeley there in the hills. New Bay Bridge. Pretty awesome. And we are at altitude. We'll chill here for a little bit just to enjoy the scenery. I'm just going to check our SID. Because it looks like once we get to Truckin', yeah, I think we're good at this altitude until Hippie. Then we'll want to get higher. So turning over Alameda. There's downtown Oakland. This looks fantastic. Take a snap of my old hood, where I lived for about 7 years. And a gorgeous view of Oakland Airport. It was great leaving from Oakland. Always super convenient. Good view of Lake Merritt there out the left window. And then crossing the Berkeley Hills, you got the town of Lafayette, Orinda. Of course, Walnut Creek coming up ahead, in the foothills of Diablo. Oh, this is really nice flying out of here. Oh yeah, so there's Route 80, I think. No, sorry, Route 80 goes up here. I forget what highway this was. It would go through the tunnels in the Berkeley Hills that would take you to Walnut Creek. I think this is Walnut Creek here. Lots of good shopping. And then, of course, Diablo. Just want to get a good look of Walnut Creek, and then when we cross over Walnut Creek, we'll go ahead and clear ourselves to cruise. Yeah, it looks like we're turning. We must have hit that waypoint. Lovely. You can see, the Walnut Creek Mall. The Whole Foods. So cool. Alright, let's go ahead and clear ourselves to cruise. 39,000 feet. Thrust climb, open climb. So long, Bay Area. See you soon. All right. Trash these charts. Go ahead and go to standard pressure now that we're clear to cruise. And passing 10,000 feet, we'll get the landing lights off. Strobes back to auto. And set airport. Increase our ND range. And we'll go ahead and get seatbelt signs off for now and ping the cabin crew. Alright, everything is looking good. Next up, when we get to our cruise altitude, we will do our preliminary descent prep just to make sure that we know exactly when we want to do our descent. Make sure we have enough time to get everything nice and ready, because this is a short flight. This is a short flight. Now that we're in the air for about 10 minutes or so, we probably have about an hour and 20 left, tops. Let's get the rad navs cleared. Just finish cleaning things up. And while we wait to get to our climb altitude, actually, sorry, let me just check something really quick on the progress page. Okay, that all looks good. While we wait to get to our climb altitude, let's do a Volanta check. So let me pull that up for y'all. Alright, so there is Volanta. This is a great app I've been using to track our around the world flights for the last half dozen flights or so. I unfortunately wasn't able to use it for the whole thing because I didn't know it existed until about flight 40. But if you go to the flights tab, you can see all the routes we've taken in our around the world journey. You see a little break here because we had a crash desktop incident between Vancouver and San Francisco, so we did Portland to SFO instead, but we have this annoying gap even though I did fly that. But yeah, this is the route we've taken for the most recent flights, starting from Sapporo, Japan, hopping 2 hours at a time from airport to airport, getting across the Pacific via Alaska, down the Canadian coast, and now we're making way across the continental United States on our way to our home airport in Newark, New Jersey. So that's the plan. This is flight 51, and I think 54 will be the final flight from Detroit to Newark. So that's what you have to look forward to there. Super cool feature in Volanta. It is three-dimensional. So here you can see our climb profile developing. We made a turn on the truck-in to departure, climbed to 6,100 feet, and then once we passed Walnut Creek, we cleared ourselves to cruise, and we are on our way to cruise, which is pretty awesome. You can also see other traffic in the area that's flying on VATSIM right now. It suddenly got super quiet. I'm not seeing anyone. There was someone on the ground at SFO a moment ago, but let's see. Let's see if we have the right settings here. Oh no, you know what? VATSIM is not loaded. Oh, interesting. Oh, you know what? No, we're on the wrong page. Let's go to map. Now we'll be able to see VATSIM people. There we go. There we go. So now we can see the planes around us. Yeah, so here's someone taxiing to 28 left at SFO. But otherwise, airspace is a little quiet. Not seeing anyone between us and Salt Lake at the moment. Yeah, some traffic out to the east over the Sierra Nevadas. And most notably, no ATC on the west coast. We have some ATC activity denoted by these shaded regions in these green circles, but no one's online on our route as of now, although it is, what, 6:40 in the evening west coast time, so hopefully we'll get someone to sign on in a little bit. All right. Back to the flight. Alright, passing 21,500 feet, good climb rate. Had a little bit of a headwind, which should help with our climb rate. We will not be able to maintain 2,400 feet per minute, but we can assume probably about 8 to 10 minutes to get to cruise. This altitude, getting a good view of the Central Valley. Bay Area is already in the distance. So let's just check on Volanta really quick. We are flying. Okay, so that is Lodi to our right. Awesome wine town. And Sacramento should be in the distance there. It might be just too far to see off our left side. And we'll be flying directly over Lake Tahoe, which should be really fun. One of my favorite places in the world. So, while things are a bit quiet, I'm going to go back into, hopefully I'm not going to kick myself for doing this, but I'm going to see if I can get my liveries reloaded to get model matching back online. Alright, we'll let that slowly start up. I have it running in slow mode so it doesn't interfere with the performance of the sim. We're still getting decent performance here, 45 frames. Still lower than usual. But I'm wondering if fly-by-wire is still catching up to Sim Update 9. I think the next test I'll run is just doing a stock plane and see if I get better frames. Also, while we wait, our good friend Kostiker, who's a fan of the channel, good friend of the channel, provided me with an awesome tutorial guide for the A320neo. I'm not going to show it. I don't think it's something I can share. It is a... I don't want to betray his trust, of course. But if anything interesting I see, I will let you know. Oh, lots of tutorials about how to set your seats. Some golden rules. Golden rule number 1. Fly, navigate, communicate. In that order with appropriate task sharing. So, number 1 priority is to always fly the airplane. Then figure out where you are and where you're going. And then communicate to the necessary folks what's going on. Use the appropriate level of automation at all times. Understand the FMA at all times. And take actions if things do not go as expected. The 4 golden rules. So to ensure correct situational awareness at all times, the flight crew must monitor the FMA, announce the FMA, confirm the FMA, and then understand the FMA. And the FMA is, I believe, this display here at the top. So whenever anything changes, I believe you're intended to call it out, and Copilot will confirm the call out. Alright, so that goes to the different flow patterns. So for overhead, for example, the flow patterns have you go through the left panel, center panel, and right panel with the goal of extinguishing all white lights. As we could see very quickly with a quick scan, all white lights are indeed off. And then the maintenance panel sure everything looks off. Alright, so the flow on the center instrument panel, so the next one's actually the center. The flow is a U shape, starting with the ISIS, down through the ECAM, and then up the right panel. Clock, anti-skid, nose wheel steering. And then the center panel going down the left side, the middle, and then the right side. So ACP check, cockpit door check, switching panel normal, thrust levers idle, engine master switch off, engine mode selection normal, parking brake as required, gravity gear extension check stowed, ATC set or standby. This is fantastic. So final cockpit preparation, starting with the glare shield from left to right, and then the side stick right when both pilots are seated. FMS preparation, check. Electronic flight bag, MCDU, green dot, compare. Glare shield, standard operating procedure, lateral console. Okay, let's see. And then there's an after start flow, which starts with engine mode, APU bleed, anti-ice, APU master, ECAM status, and then for the co-pilot, spoilers, rudder, flaps, pitch, ECAM status. And then for taxi, this is in taxi, I believe, so radar, ATC, terrain, which is in-op in this, auto brake, takeoff config, takeoff memo. Ooh, I took off autopilot by accident. Whoopsie. Get that back on. Sorry, folks. Autopilot 1. Continuing to 390. Open climb, thrust climb. Okay, that all looks good. Sorry about that. So before takeoff flows, also on the co-pilot, TCAS, cabin crew, engine mode, sliding table stowed, EFB transmitting mode, takeoff runway, and then PAX. And then performing this flow pattern when appropriate, approach path cleared for a period of traffic. Yeah, it looks like, all of my liveries got uninstalled. That's awful. Well, I'll be downloading this all night. Alright. Interesting. It's not letting me download in bulk. Hold on. Oh, all my settings got cleared. Alright, anyway, back to the flows we're chatting through. So for after takeoff, it looks like the flows start with APU bleed, master switch off. Oh, interesting. This is implying that you actually take off with the APU available. Interesting. That doesn't make any sense because in a previous step, you would hit the APU master switch off after start. Maybe it's just confirming the APU is off in case you took off with APU on. There must be a reason why you'd want to take off with the APU on. Then engine mode, TCAS, anti-ice. And then at 10,000 feet, landing lights, seatbelts, ECAM memo, nav aids, secondary flight plan, and optimum max altitude. Those are all McDo settings. And that takes us to descent prep. So we'll stop there. If you're just joining us, I have this tutorial doc that was provided to me by a real Airbus pilot who's a follower and friend of the channel. And comparing it with the flows that I've been using on this channel. And thankfully, For the most part, they line up.
From the aisle, as the flight attendants will be coming through the cabin with galley cards shortly. Also, one more reminder to please refrain from congregating near the front galley where the flight deck door is located. Thank you.
All right, now that we're at cruise altitude, let's take a look at when we expect to get to Salt Lake. We're expecting to get there at 53 past the hour, so in just under an hour. So we'll do our descent prep in about 20 minutes or so. Do another quick check of VATSIM. Still no controllers in the area. And Valanta, there's, oh, actually, wait, hold on. We are flying over Tahoe right now. There, oh, there it is. One of my favorite places in the world, Lake Tahoe. Look at that. Unbelievable. So South Lake Tahoe here, Heavenly Ski Resort. We got Squaw and Alpine up here, Tahoe City, and then of course the Truckee Airport down there, which is if you have a PPL and you want to get to Tahoe quickly from the Bay Area, you're flying to Truckee. And then right over here is just like on the other side of the mountains, on the Nevada side, just desert. There's Reno down there, Reno Airport, and just the rest of Nevada. But it's like amazing. It's like you go straight from California Alpine to desert just by crossing this mountain bridge. It's nuts. Just wish it wasn't so hazy. Yes, I was looking for traffic. Yeah, still pretty quiet. West Coast on VATSIM tonight. Let's see, we might actually be the only ones flying to Salt Lake tonight. Let's see here. Alright, just hanging out here. Nice and quiet. I was bracing for like a more active evening of ATC, but Tuesday, man. Oh, fascinating. It looks like Tower is online at Eagle County Regional Airport in Colorado. How funny. And LAX Tower is online. Portland ground. Okay, so there's some life in the West. I think our best hope is if, well, are we in NorCal traffic, or are we, I'm actually not sure what center we'd be connected to at this point. We'll see what happens. We're getting a few bumps. Not too bad though. Wow, this tutorial is insanely detailed. My God. Yeah, I'm going to have so much reading to do. What was it that Buzz Aldrin said on the moon? Beautiful desolation. That's what it's like to fly across Nevada. Alright, about 10 minutes we will begin descent preparations. Okay, I think I may have fixed it. Let me go back to... When I say fixed it, I mean my model matching. So let me go back here, custom rule sets. The one I made in May. Apply. Nope, still not working. That was worth a try. Alright, so that is done. What is wrong? Let me try my old file. In case the issues started when I made the new one. Huh. Alright. That may have done it. I'm not getting crazy errors. Yeah, so the issues must have started when I tried to make my May file, which means my May file doesn't work. Have folks been rage quitting on my flightsim.to page? Let's see. See. Can I revert? Oh, I can't seem to revert. Alright, well I'll just have to make a new one and upload it. It is quiet on VATSIM. It is quiet on Twitch. We have a Southwest flight heading to Salt Lake City. Let's see, they're expected there in 40 minutes. We're expected there in 36. Look at that. So we might need to watch out for each other. That'll be fun. Alright, so actually, I think just about now we can go ahead and start our descent prep. We're about 40 minutes away. So first things first, let's check the weather in Salt Lake. We just got updated METAR information. This is coming from 154 Zulu, which is very recent. And winds, there are no winds. So we can go any runway we want. So 3-4 left it is. 10 statute miles, few clouds 8,500. The weather looks fantastic, nice and warm. Altimeter is actually the same as a SFO if I recall. So that's great actually. So let's take a look at our descent profile. Let's go to the 2 airport, starting with our star, and already forgot what star we're flying. So the Watts 5 arrival. Watts 5. Let's take a look at this thing. Alright, so we'll be coming via Bonneville, VOR, Knoll, Watts, and then from here it deviates. I bet you it's based on what runway we're taking. So 3-4 left is our runway, the north runways. From Watts on track, 67 degrees to race. Then as depicted to Cedar, then on heading 164, expect radar vectors to final approach course. We'll vector ourselves. Alright. Very, very, very interesting. I see. So yes, we're going to come down, cross, come all the way south, and then we'll turn ourselves on for 3-4 left. Lots of rad navs here to pay attention to potentially. We could use Fairfield as a turning vector. There is a whole point there, I'm guessing. Oh yeah, so that's for lost comms. So we would use we would hold at Fairfield for lost comms, but I think we could use it as a turning point and then go direct to the approach for 3-4 left. We'll want to be at 17,000 feet by Knoll, so that is our expected restriction. So let's go ahead and get this programmed into the box, and then we'll brief the rest of our arrival. So, arrival, ILS 3-4 left if it's available, and it is via, where are you, Watts? Watts 5 arrival. And the via is Fairfield, is that right? Oh no, wait, hold. Oh yeah, via FFU. Yeah, so that's what we'll want. That's exactly what we want. All right, and insert. Everything's updated. So that added about 10 minutes to our flight time. That is fine because of the way that our arrival profile is. But let's just scan here to make sure all looks good. There we go. There's the beginning of our star there. Knoll, Watts, and then there's our coming down there. And then from Cedar, it's manual, so we're actually going to clear this. We'll directly connect it to Foxtrot uniform. That has us doing a super wide turn, but we'll be going a lot slower once we're on the star. Oh, that's it, there. It's calculating for us. So that looks like a good approach profile to me. We'll compare the rest with the approach plate. So on the approach, we're doing the ILS 3-4 left, Cat 2 or Cat 3. Now let's take a look at this. So Pooter, Camry, Dunlop, flag down to the runway. And we'll want to intercept the glide slope at 6,100 feet. And looking over here, Pooter, Camry, Dunlop, flag, that all looks correct. And looking at the VNAV profile, Dunlop, flag, 6,100 feet, and then the runway. So perfect, we can do, looks like we can leverage VNAV all the way down. Starting with 17,000 feet at, well, it has a first restriction at Watts. So at Knoll, I think that's where it's set to expect 17,000. So So we'll just get ourselves down to 17,000. Here's 41 miles from Bonneville, so we'll have plenty of time to get down. I think we could start our descent around Bonneville. We can see on our, go back to ARC and zoom out a bit. There's our top of descent right before Bonneville, so I think that will work out fine. We'll just head down to 17,000 feet once we get to the top of descent marker, and then VNAV the rest of the way down. Alright, that's all good. That's all good, folks. So to complete descent preparations, let's go ahead and do our top hat. So flight plan, we are set radnavs. So we'll want to do Bonneville. Throw that in VOR2. And what else might we want to do? So Fairfield, maybe. What's the missed approach procedure? That's probably more important. So missed approach, climbing 4,800 feet, then climbing left, turn it to 8,100 outbound on Tango Charlie Hotel VOR. So yeah, we'll want to put that in for our missed approach. Actually, I'm not going to do Bonneville for VOR2. I think I'll do Foxtrot, Foxtrot uniform. Fairfield. Sounds good. And VOR, VOR. Alright, that's RadNav progress. Here we are. We're going to Kilo Sierra Lima Charlie 3-4 left. Perfect. 216 miles away. Cruise optimal max. That all looks fine. Heading to performance. This is where we want to put in our weather. And actually, for fun, let's go and get our METAR information. We'll clear out SFO, but we'll get it for Salt Lake and this alternate, whatever that alternate is. We'll wait for the company message confirmation. Alright, give me 1 sec here. Alright. Hold on. Still wrestling with my, there we go. Yeah, I know the director's already present. Oh my goodness, hold on. Wrestling with AIG traffic, my friends. Alright. think I've got it now. Alright, back to this. Apologies guys. We should have our message now. There's our METAR print. It's printing down here. Love this feature. Fantastic. Alright, and now we can go to performance and get our descent information. So the altimeter setting is 3003. Temperature at Salt Lake is 26. 0/0. Does it accept 0 or does it want 360? Yeah, it does take 0/0. Transition altitude or transition level, always 18,000 feet. And minimums, let's look at that approach plate. Vertical profile. Cat 2 ILS barrow minimums 432 9. I've been told to always use barrow. I actually don't know in what instance you would use radio. In my mind, radio would be more accurate because it's actually like a sonar signal between you and the ground. Hey Ivan, how's it going? We're about exactly 40 minutes. We'll be starting our descent soon-ish. Yes. In about 80 miles, we'll start heading on down to Salt Lake. Alright, and yeah, I think that is it for the performance page. Fuel prediction is looking fine, and secondary flight plan is in-op, so that is top hat complete. How have you been, Ivan? It is a damn quiet night tonight. Take another peek at Valanta. And yeah, I mean, ATC on the West Coast, like we have North Pacific coverage, but it's like we are in no man's land here between Canada and Mexico and the East Coast. Just no one wants to cover the Western US tonight. We do have another Flight Southwest 2503 and a Boeing 737-800. I'm guessing the PMDG mod. Yeah, we'll be arriving in Salt Lake at the same time. And yes, actually, I'm glad you mentioned the Phoenix A320. I've decided that after this, there's only 3 flights left in the world tour. And if I get to Detroit and Phoenix is not out yet, I will wait until Phoenix comes out. We will, at the very least, do the final leg in the Phoenix A320. That is how we're going to finish this. And I'm really excited for it. I'm really excited for it. And that price point, like, that is, for what that plane is, that is absolutely insane. They have a lot of faith in the demand of the community, and I really appreciate that. I do. Alright. So in preparation for descent, our initial descent, we're going down to 17,000. Let's see, what can we see from up here? I'm not convinced that these mountains are actually snow covered in real life at the moment. But it is what it is. Can't really see all that much, honestly. I did drive across the country when I moved to California, and I came via Salt Lake, and it was pretty effing desolate. Oh, is it really? I mean, I guess it makes sense. I think after the PMDG and seeing how well that performed FPS-wise, I would have expected the same from Phoenix. But, you know, maybe that's why they haven't released it yet. Maybe they're still working out those final kinks. I mean, ever since Sim Update 9, my FPS in the fly-by-wire has, like, gone down the shitter. I'm getting, like, in the mid-20s on the ground now, which I never used to get. I basically emptied my community folder just to make sure it wasn't anything else, and still can't explain it. Hold on. I'm still wrestling with my model matching here. Alright, we'll be here in a second. Okay. Yeah, seriously, man. I would love to get you on one of these. I've not been able to even, like, I didn't know I was going to stream tonight until like half an hour before I actually came on. I'm trying to figure out how to get more advanced notice. I posted in the Discord, but just wasn't enough advance notice. I will at the very least, like, schedule the final flight. Like, I will just put a date in the calendar. I will clear everything else. I'll just make sure that is the only thing I have to do that evening, and we'll see if we can get some folks to join us. Have you flown anywhere interesting recently? Hey Cass, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. And by afternoon, I'm sure you mean evening. Or maybe Salt Lake City. So we're on the final 4 legs of this around the world journey. So tonight's to Salt Lake, then it's to KSUX, Kilo Sierra Uniform X-Ray, because I just think that's a hilarious ICAO code. And then from KSUX to Detroit, and then Detroit to Newark, and then we're done. Then it's over. We need to figure out something else to do with our time. Let's see. You can kind of see the Great Salt Lake coming into view. In real life, it smells terrible. Yeah, it's been good. I'm still trying to figure out my frame rate issues. I cleared my community folder and broke my model matching in the process. But still can't explain the low FPS on the ground after Sim Update 9. But super quiet tonight. I was saying to Ivan, not a lot of flights in the Western United States, no ATC, even though we have ATC over the Pacific. We have ATC over the Midwest and Eastern United States, but in our part of the country right now, not much going on. I see LAX Tower and Irvine Tower is coming online. San Francisco is still quiet, even though there's lots of traffic. But oh, so feeling ill. Sorry to hear that. And I have to remind myself that you actually fly planes in real life. So you say I haven't touched a plane, I'm like, oh, you haven't been on the sim. But no, you're talking about an actual plane. Well, I hope you pull through it quickly. Gotta prepare. We're about 20 miles from top of descent. So the plan, if I pull up the star here, we will get down to 17,000 at Knoll, and after Knoll we'll fly the VNAV all the way down to glide slope intercept, which will occur at 6,100 feet. Oh, so control issues? Alright, we have the VORs active. Ah, okay, you can see the main freeway here. Okay, so this stretch right here, fun story. When we left Salt Lake, I thought I had enough fuel to cross the Great Salt Flats, which was a terrible mistake. And it was probably the most hair-raising drive of my life. It was dusk, so it was getting dark, and of course, like driving across the salt flats, there was nothing. There's literally nothing in any direction, and it's nasty. Like the salt actually like accumulates on your car, and there's dust everywhere. And I was just watching my fuel just drop and drop and drop and drop. The light was on, and it was one of these analog fuel. I didn't have like exact mileage to empties. I didn't know actually how much I had. But we made it to a rest stop, I think in this area here, that seems to be next to an airport. Yeah, there's an airport here at the end of the salt flats. And man, we must have had minutes of gas left. And it was just like the most tense driving. I didn't even get to enjoy driving across the salt flats as cool as it was. But yeah, that is my story about driving across the Great Salt Flats. Oh, no worries. Yeah, seriously, I was 26. I blame it on being young, making poor decisions. All right, here we go. We are right on top of our descent marker, so we'll go ahead and start our descent. Mach descent. Thrust idle. And down we go. So we're cleared below transition level. So we'll go ahead, and the QNH is 3003, so no adjustments to make there.
From the flight deck, ladies and gentlemen, as you may have noticed, we have begun our initial descent down to our destination. Now would be a good time to wrap up any business you need to take care of as we prepare for our approach.
Yep.
If you are up, once you return to your seat, we ask that you remain seated till the aircraft arrives safely at the gate. Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for a ride.
Alright, down we go. Staying on our descent profile there. The VNAV is working better all the time. And we're starting to get some nice sunset colors now. Starting to see cast shadows of the mountains. Let's actually get a reverse shot here. This beautiful United livery. We see there's some clouds in the distance. Can't tell if that's over the city or not. I think we still got a ways to go. think we're going to beat that other traffic to Salt Lake unless they have... looks like they have a more direct approach than we'll take, so we may still overlap. We may still have to figure out how to keep our distance. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully they're being active on the Unicom radios. It'd be nice to see the Southwest purple, but I don't think I'll be able to get my liveries fixed by then. I'll drown my sorrows in this beautiful glass of rye I poured for myself. Because you could drink when you sim. Alright, so we've got Knoll in about 30 miles. It'll be interesting to see if we can bleed off 13,000 feet in 30 miles. Yeah. Yeah, I guess you could do anything in real life. It's just you'd have to, you know, deal with the consequences. I'm really excited for this approach tonight. It's an extended down leg, downwind. But we'll get a really nice overfly of the Salt Lake City area, which is actually quite stunning. So I've been to Salt Lake twice. The first time was driving through it on the way to California, where we literally just drove past it because we were trying to get to Tahoe. Second time was when I went to Park City with a good friend of mine before my wife and I had kids. It was Park City in the summer, so it was August, where it's a ton cheaper, so we got to stay at like the nice hotels, but for not very much. And the drive from Salt Lake to Park City, quick, but gorgeous, really stunning. Lots of great outdoor activities even in the summer. You know, it's not just a ski town, but I enjoyed how quiet it was. I'm sure it gets really busy in the wintertime. Oh, I'm not sure if I... Yeah, sorry guys, I'm not sure I understand your last text there. Oh, the sunset is really accelerating now. Ooh, boy. Yeah, it'll be nighttime when we get to Salt Lake. Yeah, so let me see if I can use speed brakes. Get down a bit faster. Question is, will it pitch down? No, it's engaging the engines. Interesting. Okay. Well, at this point, then, I am going to, since I know we're not going to get to 17,000 by Knoll, I'm just going to go ahead and get to 6100 and activate VNAV to manage descent, get us all the way down. So now it's going to take us down to 14,000, which should be the first set of constraints. We'll turn those constraints on so we can see them, and that is coming up at watts, where we'll have to be at 14,000 or above. Oh yeah, is that because of COVID times, or just life got busy? I've never been to Aspen myself, but that is that's on the list. My brother-in-law does a ski trip every year. This year was Breckenridge, so I did get to Colorado at least. Yeah, no, it really is. Really is a bastard, that COVID. We're overflying Knoll. So we got pretty close. Didn't get to 17,000, but we're within 4,500 feet. It's the Great Salt Lake. I think I mentioned in passing, if you drive past it at low tide, it stinks. It smells. It is disgusting. It was not a pleasant experience. But it was just the time of year, time of day. Yeah, it was just like... we had our windows open because the weather was so lovely. And then we got closer to the lake, we got that smell. Windows came up, put that recycling mode on. It was bad news. Can't be that way all the time, because then they wouldn't have built a giant metropolis next to it. But at that moment, it was pretty rough. And you can see the highway here, like it gets really close. Like you're crossing over parts of the Salt Lake. And I think Salt Lake City is on the flip side of this hill here in the foot of these mountains. But yeah, this was the area where it was like really stank. Right beneath us. Actually, I'm going to take a photo. I might do an Instagram about that. Because it was really bad. Alright. That's a solid prediction. That's taking into account... I think it's simultaneously being nice about landing expectations, while also being realistic. We are still pretty high over watts, although according to VNav, we're right on target. We need to cross race at 12,000. Yeah, it won't be. There's literally no winds, so if I don't butter this with the extended final leg, like it would be really embarrassing if I don't nail this. Really embarrassing. Alright, turning towards race. Seems to still be on path for 12,000, which is great. Let's see, we'll get there at 46 past. That's in 2 minutes. We're going down about 2,000 a minute. Yeah. We should hit that. No problem. Oh man, and now the clouds are starting to get real nice. Ooh, look at those colors. Yeah, I think I'm gonna beat the Southwest flight. Yeah, skies are looking really nice. See if we can zoom back and get like a nice wide shot. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Well, it looks all weird and stretched. Maybe that's too much. So I forget what the rules are. So like normally at 10,000 feet you would get the landing lights on, but because the elevation is so high here, like you'd think that'd be 10,000 feet AGL? Because we're under 10,000 feet above the ground right now. Wow, VNAV did a great job. We're basically going to overfly at 12,000 feet. And now further down we go. Yeah, so I think, what is the altitude at the airport? It is 4,200 feet. In any case, I'll get those landing lights on now. There they come on. Landing system comes online. TCAS is set to below. That's pretty cool. Alright, so it seems to be leveling off. Curious. Let's check the flight plan page, see what's going on. Oh, 11,000. Okay. That's fine. Still doing its thing. It does. It does manage to look better than real life. That's a really good observation. I feel like dusk is my favorite time in the sim. Between the colors of the sky and like the ground lights, it just looks, that's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, no, that's true. I think the colors of sunsets do vary significantly depending on where you are in the world, but I feel like in Microsoft Flight Simulator it's always gorgeous. Always. Alright, I'm going to quickly load up our taxi chart and quickly brief what we're going to do when we're on the ground. So we're coming in runway 34 left, nice and long. I'm going to target Alpha 6 to depart, and we'll go ahead and we'll probably just follow Echo all the way down and probably head into like the F terminal. The F concourse in Terminal 2. That seems fine. Let's keep this up for now. All right. Approaching this turn, taking it 250 knots. It's a very, very slight descent because of how much time we have to get to Pooter. Yeah, I mean, really, the weather couldn't be better. It really couldn't be. Really just a very casual approach because it's so long. It's not a terrible thing. It's just so pleasant to look outside the window. Alright, we're about 30 miles from the Tango Charlie Hotel VOR, which is on the other end of the other end of the airport. So the airport's probably like just under 30 miles. Still inching down towards 10,000 feet. Pretty smooth. Alright, that other traffic is about 30 to 40 miles off to our east, looking at Valanta. Probably wouldn't be picking them up on yeah, definitely out of range for TCAS. Alt constraint. Runway's in sight. It's the one on the very left there. And ILS is active, 24 nautical miles. Nicely lined up already on the localizer. Down to 9,000. Descent. Have a direct headwind at this altitude, but that is expected to dissipate to nothing by the time we get down to the airport. Thrust idle, running a little over speed. Heading down to 8,000. Might apply some speed brakes to catch up to the dot there. Alt constraint star. Under 20 miles now. Descend now to 6,100 feet, which is our intercept. And at this point, I'll go ahead and activate the approach. And arm the approach on the FMC. Loc star. Descending out glide slope, speed, loc captured.
$2,500.
Radio altimeter is alive. Apply some speed brake. I got down a green dot pretty quick. The 10-mile foul came up on us pretty quick. Salt Lake City traffic, United 9084 on 10-mile final for runway 34 left, Salt Lake City traffic. Alright, leveling off. Should be able to get the green dot pretty easily now. And we'll just make sure to configure pretty quickly altitude. And speed checked, flaps 1. Speed check, flaps 2. Gears coming down.
Flight attendants, please prepare for landing.
Speed check, flaps 3. And flaps full. Speed brake retracted. Speed brake armed. Landing. ECAM landing, no blue. Quick landing checklist. Flaps retracted, suppose. Cabin crew advised. Auto throttles and speed. Auto brake is set to low. And ECAM memo landing, no blue. Landing checklist complete. That was more rushed than I wanted it to be, but we are right on time nonetheless. Why does this runway look so tiny?
$500.
500 check. Cat 1.
400.
This runway does look narrow to me.
300. 200.
And Salt Lake City area traffic. Southwest 2503 on final approach.
Continue.
34 left. Salt Lake traffic.
50. 40. 30. 20. Retard.
Floating a bit.
10. 5.
Reverse green. Decel. $70 knots. Rolling out. Yeah, it was definitely a floater. I think I was thrown off because the runway seemed a little smaller, so like my sight picture felt really weird. And I realized, like, why is it so dark? I never turn on the friggin' lights. Ah! Look where I'm going. Jeez, I'm all over the place, friend. I am all over the
Salt
place.
Lake area traffic southwest 2503, fully established on the ILS, runway 24 left, currently 15 nautical miles from the runway, Salt Lake traffic.
Salt Lake traffic, United 9084 is clear of runway 34 left. Salt Lake traffic. All right, parking brake is on, and let's flow this stuff. So flaps are coming up, spoilers retracted, weather systems will come off as well. TCAS can come on to standby. Come on, there we go. ATC to auto. Strobe is on auto. We can get. We'll keep those on because it's dark. Landing lights will come off. And that's set to taxi. APU 1, 2, and 3. And after landing checklist, flaps are retracted, spoilers just armed. APU is coming online. Radar is off. Pretty good winter system is off. After landing checklist is complete. And let's see where we landed. Alright, we landed past Alpha 6. So we'll go ahead and we'll take Alpha down and heading a left on Echo. And take that all the way to the stands. So if I floated, that probably means I began the flare too early. Oh, there's our friend coming in. Unfortunately, mile matching won't work because my mile matching is broken. Such a shame. Alright, so this is not a custom airport, so these signs are going to be impossible to read, but we're on Alpha. I have no idea what's coming. Like, that is just unreadable. Alright, we got some time. It'll be the second left after this. And this guy said he's coming in 2-4 left? Must have meant 3-4 left. But he doesn't really look lined up for 3-4 left. So when we get to that runway, we'll probably want to hold short because I'm not. Oh no, we're not going to hit 3-4 right. But yeah, no, he does not look lined up for the runway that we landed on. Alright, I think this is Echo. Yeah, that looks like... Again, it's very illegible. I can't even tell. But what does the map say? Yeah, we turned on Echo. Now where's our friend? Yeah, that does not look like he's coming onto that runway. Alright, my frame rates are abysmal. So it might be the fly-by-wire. Really might be. Yeah, no, this guy is not lined up for 3-4 left. Yeah, I have no idea where I'm supposed to turn because the signage is so bad. It looks like there's an island coming up, and after that island we'll make a right turn. Should be the next right. Oh, it should be like right now. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, that, he did not land on the runway he announced on, but there he is. All right. I have no faith that these taxi lines are accurate at all. So I'm just going to follow one and hope for the best. Well, they do have gate numbers on the ground. That's interesting. Yeah, let's just pull into this first one. What is it? What is it? F-18. Oh, that's fun. Foxtrot 18.
And Salt Lake area traffic, Southwest 2503, vacating runway 34 left, taxiing to the ramp.
That was
Salt Lake.
No, that was not. You were on 34 right, my friend. Looks like you landed on 34 right. Looking to see. He's exiting to the right. He's not where he thinks he is. I can't confirm on Valanta though. In Valanta he's still in the air. I've lost sight of him too. I have no idea where he is. Alright, well, Godspeed to you, friend. Parking brake is on. Got all these lights blinding my friends here. Forgot to turn the landing lights off. I'm all over the place on this landing, friends. But APU is available. APU bleed, come on. And engine 2, engine 1, shut down. Seatbelt sign is off. Alright, let's get that jetway connected. External power. Get the rest of these lights off. What are those lights? Strobes off, beacons off. Oh wait, I did turn the landing lights off. There we go. Seriously, dude, what is wrong with me tonight? Let's get some dome light. There we go. Unlock that cockpit door. And let us secure the aircraft a bit. AP bleed is on, engines are off, seatbelts are off, external lights are off, except for nav and logo. Fuel pumps can come off. Parking brake and chocks as required. And I actually think I could add that here. So yeah, wheel chocks and safety cones are already on automatically. That's pretty cool. And that's parking checklist complete. So let's assume folks have deplaned. We had about an hour and 50 on engine time. Let's get the external power connected. And we can shut down the APU there. Nav and logo can come off. Get these lights off. Crew supply off. IRSs can shut down. And let's secure the rest of this stuff. Alright, everything else looks fine. TCAS, that comes off as well. Alright, let's do our light pass. Hope that guy realized that he landed on the wrong runway. Pulled Harrison Ford over there. No hate to Harrison Ford, he's amazing. Love that he's into aviation, but it was an easy joke to make. Alright. And then get this gray panel off. And up top, get that off, and let's do our securing the aircraft checklist. Brake temperature is checked, IRSs are off, oxygen's off, AP bleed is off, exit lights are off, signs, nose swing and signs are off. Last thing to do is APU and battery. APU is off, although still available, but we can get those batteries off now. And yeah, last but not least, guess lights and external power. I guess that's gonna hum on until the APU actually fully spools down. So, not quite cold and dark. It's gonna get there in a sec. But yeah, I think at this point, let's just debrief this flight. Beautiful sunset behind us. As we move further east, the sunsets will come quicker. It was practically daytime when we left SFO, but when we leave Salt Lake, our next leg, if I'm flying it around the same time when I usually fly, it is going to be largely nighttime flying from here on out. But hopefully that also means, since we'll be solidly in the evening, that we'll get more ATC coverage. And just taking one last look at VATSIM right now. Yeah, it is just a quiet night. It's a Tuesday. We will try to do these last legs when there is more coverage, just to make it more fun. And I will be saving the last leg, the Detroit-Newark leg, for the Phoenix A320. I think that'd be a great way to finish this journey. We learned a lot about the A320 over these 51 flights, and taking it to the next level with the Phoenix is just going to be cherry on top. Hopefully we don't have to wait too long for it, because if I don't stream for a while, I'm so close to affiliate status. I don't even know what I get with affiliate status, but I'm so close to it. I just want to get it. And I think I need to stream like 2 more times in the next couple of weeks or so to get there. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see if Amir over on the Phoenix team will be nice to us and releases it sometime in the next week. That'll be great. But I think I'll leave it at that. This was a great time. Thanks again for joining us on this quieter night on Microsoft Flight Simulator. This is Mike November Whiskey signing off. And again, a special thanks to Ivan, special thanks to Cass for always being so supportive. And hope to see you guys on here again soon. And Cass, hope you get back in the air soon as well. All the best to you.